So today, we're going to dive into this really profound text called The Bread of Seeing. And it tackles one of the biggest questions there is, really. What actually happens when one person truly sees another? And maybe, more importantly, what happens when they don't?
Right from the start, the book gives us this incredible image. Picture it, 2 cups of tea on a table. One is warm, and that represents a real encounter, a genuine connection. But the other cup, it's gone cold. That's the missed connection, the moment that just slipped by. And the whole idea here is that both of these cups, the warm one and the cold one, they both shape our lives in a huge way.
So this is the big idea we're playing with. You've got the warm cup, those moments of real presence, of seeing and being seen. And then you have the cold cup, which, let's be honest, is kind of the default setting for so much of our lives. So let's start with the ideal, with a warm cup. Okay, so the first voice we hear from in this text is a writer named Martin Levy-Hahn, and he has this powerful idea that a real, true encounter, it's not some big, dramatic movie scene. Nope. He says you find it in what he calls the ordinary infinite.
So what does that even mean, the ordinary infinite? Well, it's not about love at first sight or some life-changing conversation. It's about the quiet power of showing up, again and again and again. It's the small, consistent nods of recognition that over years build something real in the space between 2 people. And Levy-Hahn tells this perfect little story to explain it.
So, for 22 years, think about that, 22 years, Mrs. Oyama and her grocer Feld, they have this little routine every Thursday. It's simple, it's transactional. But then one day, the routine breaks. Feld isn't there. He's in the hospital. And that's when everything changes. Mrs. Oyama goes to visit him, and suddenly she sees him, really sees him. And they both get it. Their little Thursday ritual, it wasn't just about buying fruit. It was about 2 people, week after week, simply witnessing each other's existence. And this is where it gets really interesting. The space between them wasn't filled with deep conversations or what we'd normally call friendship, but it was alive. It was inhabited by 22 years of just being there. The big takeaway here? Connection doesn't always need a lot of words. Sometimes, all it needs is consistency and attention.
Levy-Hahn's whole philosophy kind of boils down to this. Truly seeing another person isn't about figuring them out or analyzing them. It's more like an act of patient, honest waiting. You approach their face not like it's a wall with facts written on it, but like it's a door. And you don't force it open. You just wait. And if you wait with genuine presence, the door just might open on its own.
It's a really beautiful idea, right? But let's be real. Is that how life actually works most of the time? Well, the text doesn't let us get comfortable with that cozy thought. It immediately hits us with a counter-argument. And this is where we meet the second voice in the book, Obek's mismeeting. And mismeeting's whole point is that the missed connection, that cold cup of tea, it isn't the rare exception, it's the rule. And he's not trying to be a downer. As he says, I am not dark, I am accurate. Now here's the kicker. Mismeeting says a missed encounter doesn't need a villain. It doesn't happen because you're a bad person or someone else is selfish. It's just our default setting. It's what happens when we're on autopilot, just going through our day. It's what happens when nothing else happens. And to make this crystal clear, mismeeting gives us his own version of the grocer's story. In this one, a transaction is just a transaction. That's it. The counter isn't a bridge, it's a wall. When Feld goes to the hospital, Mrs. Oyama doesn't even notice. She asks no questions. The routine was just empty space. The contrast is, well, it's stark. And if we're being honest, it feels uncomfortably familiar sometimes, doesn't it?
And then the text just hits you with this number. Just 10,000. It says, in your life, you will pass 10,000 faces. 10,000 chances for an encounter.
And right after that number comes the question that just stops you in your tracks. Out of all those thousands of chances, how many faces do you truly enter, and how many of them truly enter you? Mismeeting suggests the answer is pretty quiet. It's the sound of that cup of tea getting cold. Okay, so we've got these 2 totally opposite views. The beautiful dream of the encounter and the harsh reality of the non-encounter. So where does that leave us? Well, the text suggests it leaves us with a choice. The choice to actually, consciously cultivate the space between us. And here's where it all comes together. This isn't about deciding if leaving hand is right or if mismeeting is right. The point is that they're both right. The chance for a real connection is always there. But our default mode is to just walk right past it. So our real power is in choosing actively to do something different. And the text gives us a little alphabet, like a toolkit for how we can start.
First up, A is for attention. But listen to this distinction. It's super important. This isn't concentration, which is like a clenched fist trying to grab information. No, attention is about release. It's like holding your palm open in the rain. You're just receptive, ready to receive whatever comes, with no agenda.
Next, B is for breath. And the book insists this isn't some fuzzy metaphor. It's a physical fact. Your breath is literally the place where the outside world comes into you, and you go out into the world. It's the simplest, most basic way to anchor yourself in the here and now, to actually show up for an encounter.
And C is for curiosity. But again, it's a very specific kind of curiosity. It's not the kind that interrogates, that needs to figure someone out, put them in a box, solve them like a puzzle. It's a much quieter, more patient curiosity. It's the kind that can stand in front of another person and just say, I don't need to solve you. I just need to see that you're here.
In the end, Levi leaves us with this really hopeful message. A real connection isn't some rare, magical thing. It's available all the time. He says it's what happens when you just stop. Stop rushing. Stop planning your next sentence. Stop performing. Just stop.
But the text doesn't let us off that easy. Abek's mismeeting gets the last word, and it's a sharp one. He says, basically, yeah, he's right. The offer is always on the table, and we are always saying no.
And that's where the book leaves us, with this final thought. Every person you meet is a potential door, but every door still remembers what it was like to be a wall. So the choice in every single moment with every single person is yours. Are you going to see a wall and just bounce off of it? Or are you going to have the patience, just for a moment, to wait for the hinge